Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into the Oscars, and things are getting interesting, especially in the Best Actress race. This dark horse Oscars nominee could pull off the most unlikely win in decades and set a record. And
It's juicy.
it is. It's all about Fernanda Torres and her performance in I'm Still Here.
Oh, wow.
And you might not have heard of it just yet.
Yeah.
But trust me, you will after this deep dive. So
Okay.
to kind of set the stage here,
Yeah.
Here was a bit of a surprise entry for Best Picture.
It really was. It didn't get a lot of those other nominations that we usually see with Best Picture nominees, like Best Director or Best Editing.
Right, like how did it even get nominated for Best Picture?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It makes you wonder, is Fernanda Torres' performance really that good?
Well, I mean, the critics are really raving about her performance.
Okay.
She plays Eunice, a mother who's desperately searching for her husband.
Whoa.
And it all takes place during Brazil's military dictatorship in the 1970s.
Well.
So you can imagine
Oh, gosh,
the historical weight of that.
Yeah.
That's a lot to carry for an actor.
And Screen Rant actually quoted a review
Okay.
that said, the actress subtly wears her emotions on her face. And I thought that was such a good way to describe it because it does seem like it's very subtle but very powerful at the same time.
It is.
So I'm really curious to see this.
And did you know that she's actually the second Brazilian actor to be nominated?
Oh, really?
Yes. Her mother, Fernanda Montenegro,
Oh, wow.
was nominated for Central Station back in 1999.
Okay.
So it's a family affair.
Wow, a family legacy at the Oscars. That's amazing.
Yes.
Okay, so let's break down this Best Actress race. Mikey Madison and Demi Moore as like the front runners.
Yeah.
But then hinted at a possible upset.
Well, they each appeal to different segments of the Academy voters.
Okay.
So it's almost like a political race.
Yeah.
Madison, the critic's darling.
Yeah.
Moore has more like that industry support.
Oh, I see.
So it's possible they could split the vote,
Oh.
which would leave an opening for someone like Torres to come in and win.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be a real nail biter.
It is.
But here's the thing. The article said that Torres hasn't won a lot of those precursor awards.
Right, the BAFTA, SAG Awards, things like that.
Yeah, those are usually pretty good indicators of who's going to win
They are, yeah.
at the Oscars, right? Yeah.
But she did win a Golden Globe for Best Actress.
Oh.
So that means that the voters are paying attention to her even though she hasn't followed that traditional path
Right.
to Oscar glory.
But is that Golden Globe win enough?
That's a good question.
Because Screen Rant called those snubs lethal.
Yeah, for most nominees' chances, but the Academy is known to throw us a curveball every now and then.
That's true.
I mean, remember when Moonlight beat La La Land?
Oh, yeah. Nobody saw that coming.
Nobody.
So she's definitely the underdog.
Yes,
But it's not impossible.
not at all.
Okay, so what would make her win so historic?
If she wins, she would be the first foreign language performance
Oh, wow.
to win Best Actress without any of those major precursor awards.
So that's never happened.
Never. That's a major departure from how things normally go
Wow.
at the Oscars.
Okay, yeah, that would be huge. It would be a game changer.
People would start to question if those precursor awards are really as important as we think they are.
Exactly.
Okay, so how has the film been received by critics? Because obviously Screen Rant is really hyping it up.
Yes, it's been getting good reviews overall.
Okay.
Currently has a 9.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's pretty impressive.
That is. And when does it come out, or how can people see it?
So it had a limited release in January in the US,
Okay.
but will be shown in more cities in February.
Oh, perfect timing for the Oscars.
It is.
So we've got this phenomenal performance, a fascinating backdrop,
Yes.
and a potential record-breaking win.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a really exciting Oscars.
It really is. And it does raise those questions. Like, is the Golden Globe win enough?
Right. Well, those other snubs hold her back.
So many questions.
But now-
It's fascinating.
But that's what's so great about these deep dives. You know, it's not just about getting the information. It's about unpacking it and analyzing it
That's right.
and debating those possibilities.
Exactly.
So we're going to do all that next. We're going to delve deeper into the world of Oscar trends
Yes.
and see if we can predict whether or not history will be made this year.
Sounds good.
All right, everybody, buckle up because this deep dive is about to get even more interesting.
I can't wait. You know, it's interesting thinking about Fernanda Torres and a possible Oscar win and how this all fits into the bigger picture of Oscar trends.
Oh, yeah. What kind of trends are we talking about?
Well, like how I'm Still Here didn't get all those other nominations.
Right, like Best Director,
Exactly.
Best Editing.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual for a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Screen Rant pointed that out too, and I was like, Huh. It is kind of weird.
Yeah, that it got Best Picture, but not those other ones. And they even said it's rare for a film to win Best Picture without at least one of the major acting awards, too.
Exactly. And they brought up some recent examples, too, like Nomadland,
Uh-huh.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once,
Yep.
Oppenheimer. All of those won Best Picture and at least one acting award.
Right. But then they also said that every Best Picture winner this century has won a major acting award except for Coda. But Coda won for Best Supporting Actor for Troy Kotsur.
That's true.
So did they get that fact wrong?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
Best Supporting Actor is still considered a major acting award, so it seems like maybe there's a little misunderstanding about what they mean by major, but the general point still stands.
Okay, so their statement isn't entirely accurate, but
Right.
for the most part, there's a strong correlation between winning those acting awards
Exactly.
and winning Best Picture.
Yes, but it's not a hard and fast rule.
Right.
And there have been exceptions, and those exceptions are actually really interesting.
Oh,
So a reader commented on that Screen Rant article and brought up some other interesting examples.
okay.
So like Parasite,
Yeah.
Spotlight,
Uh-huh.
The Shape of Water, all of those won Best Picture, but none of the actors won.
Okay, so there is some precedent for that happening.
There is, but even in those cases, those films were still nominated for things like Best Director
Right.
or Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah.
I'm Still Here only got nominated for Best Picture, Best International Feature, and Best Actress.
Right.
So it's kind of in a category of its own.
Right. Yeah. It's really just Torres.
Right. Her performance is really carrying the weight of the film's recognition.
So even with those other examples, Torres' situation is still kind of unusual.
Yeah.
Does that make her more likely to win or less likely?
It's hard to say. The historical precedent shows us that it's not impossible,
Right.
but I'm still... Lack of other nominations definitely makes it an outlier.
Yeah. I mean, we have to consider, like you said, those other films had all those other nominations to kind of help them along.
Yeah, they have like that extra momentum.
Yeah.
And I'm Still Here doesn't really have that.
Right.
So in a way, her performance would have to be really exceptional
Yeah.
to overcome those statistical odds. But maybe it is.
Yeah.
I mean, she did win the Golden Globe, so that has to count for something.
Right. And I feel like Screen Rant is really overstating that whole, like, lethal thing
Yeah, possibly.
with the snubs.
Right.
I mean, the Oscars are full of surprises.
They are. We've seen upsets happen before.
Yeah.
No reason to think it couldn't happen again.
It's such a weird paradox, though, because, like, history tells us it could happen,
Right.
but the specifics of this situation make it seem like maybe not.
Exactly. It's a real head scratcher.
I'm starting to think Screen Rant maybe played up the record-breaking angle a bit too much.
Yeah.
You know, to make it seem more exciting.
I think that's a big part of it. They really want to get people talking.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe they're onto something about, like, shifting the way we look at the Oscars.
Oh, okay, interesting.
If Torres wins, maybe it'll mean that those traditional markers of success, the precursor awards, aren't as important as we thought, and that it's more about the individual performance.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Right.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
What are some other things that could help Torres win?
Well, the Best Actress race this year is wide open.
Okay.
Screen Rant described it as a free-for-all.
Oh, wow.
There's no clear frontrunner.
So it's anybody's game.
Exactly. And remember how we talked about Mikey Madison and Demi Moore possibly splitting the vote?
Yeah.
That could really work in Torres' favor.
Okay.
It creates an opportunity for a dark horse to come in and win.
So it's not just about her performance, it's about how everything else kind of plays out.
Exactly. It's this really complex mix of, individual talent and how the industry is trending and just the unpredictable nature of voting.
Right.
That's what makes it so fun to analyze.
I'm getting more and more invested in Torres' chances.
Me too.
So what else did Screen Rant say about her performance?
They compared her to some other Best Actress winners,
Okay, who?
like Jessica Chastain,
Okay, yeah.
Frances McDormand,
Oh, yeah.
both known for their really raw emotional performances.
Yeah.
They said Torres has that same kind of vulnerability and strength
Oh, wow.
when she plays Eunice. And they even called her performance a masterclass in quiet intensity.
Oh, wow. She's being compared to those actresses. She must be doing something really special in this film.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
And don't forget the historical context.
Oh, Ray.
I'm Still Here takes place during a really dark time in Brazil's history.
Yeah.
And her performance captures the fear and the uncertainty of that period but also the resilience of the people.
That's a good point. It's not just about her acting ability, it's about this character she's playing.
Exactly, and the fact that she's doing all of this in a foreign language
Oh my gosh.
adds another layer of difficulty and impressiveness.
Right. I think Screen Rant kind of buried the lead here.
Yeah.
They focus so much on the record-breaking part of it all.
Yeah, but they didn't talk enough about her performance being a masterclass.
That's true. They probably wanted to grab people's attention with the possibility of an upset. But I think you're right. The real story here is how powerful her performance is.
Yeah, and what does that say about the Oscars?
Maybe the Academy is becoming more open to international cinema and performances that are a little less traditional.
I like that idea.
It could be a sign of more diversity and inclusivity.
Yeah. It's cool to see those shifts happening and to see talent from all over the world being recognized.
It really is. And you know what else is remarkable?
What?
Is that I'm still here. Got a Best Picture nomination, even though it wasn't widely released here.
Yeah, how did that happen? Did Screen Rant say anything about that?
Yeah, they said that the film created a lot of buzz on the festival circuit,
Okay.
got great reviews, and just built momentum through word of mouth.
Oh, that's cool.
Sounds like the Academy voters were really drawn to the story and Torres' performance, even without a big release campaign. Wow, so the film's that good, it can kind of overcome those traditional barriers.
It seems like it.
This is really making me rethink the Oscars.
I know, right?
This whole story is so interesting.
It is.
But before we get too far ahead, I want to go back to that reader comment about the Best Picture winners that didn't win any acting awards.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
I think we should look at those a little more closely and see if there are any clues there about whether I'm Still Here might do the same thing.
Definitely. Let's take a look.
So let's get back to those Best Picture winners that didn't win any acting awards.
Okay.
The reader mentioned Parasite Spotlight,
Yeah.
The Shape of Water.
Uh-huh.
They even threw in Birdman and The Hurt Locker.
Right.
Are we seeing any kind of pattern here?
Well, all of those films were nominated for other major awards.
Right, like Best Director,
Right.
Best Original Screenplay, those kinds of things.
Exactly. And I think those nominations really matter. They give the film momentum.
Yeah, like it seems more important.
Right, exactly. And that can influence how people vote.
So even if those films didn't win any acting awards,
Yeah,
those other nominations might have helped them win Best Picture.
possibly.
And that's a big difference between those films.
Yes.
And I'm Still Here, because I'm Still Here really only has those 3 nominations.
Right. Best Picture, Best International Feature, and Best Actress.
So it's really riding on Torres' performance.
It really is.
Yeah.
If she wins, it'll be because her acting was just that good.
Wow. It makes you think about how important an individual performance can be.
It does.
You know, especially during award season, it's not just about the whole film, but those moments that really stand out to you.
Exactly. And it seems like Torres' performance has done that for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not like a big, flashy performance.
Right? Remember what that review said? The actress subtly wears her emotions on her face.
Yeah.
It's that subtlety that makes it so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, and it makes you wonder if those other awards, the BAFTAs and the SAG Awards, if those are really as important as we think they are.
Right. Maybe they're not the be-all and end-all.
Because Torres did win that Golden Globe.
She did.
So clearly people are noticing her.
Right. It's not like she's completely off the radar.
Yeah, and maybe the Academy is changing. Maybe they're becoming more open to different kinds of performances.
That would be really cool to see.
It would. It would mean that they're not just looking for those really traditional Oscar-worthy performances.
Yeah.
But they're looking for something new, something different, something that really moves you.
Exactly. And I'm Still Here seems like it fits that description perfectly.
Yeah. It's getting all this attention not because it's a big blockbuster film.
Right.
Or because it has huge stars in it.
Yeah.
But because the story is so powerful and Torres' performance is so good.
Exactly. And that's the best kind of Oscar story.
Yeah.
The underdog, the unexpected contender, the performance that just blows everyone away.
This has been such a great deep dive.
I know, it's so interesting.
We started out talking about Oscar trends,
Yeah.
and then we ended up talking about the power of acting.
It's amazing how these conversations can evolve like that.
Yeah, and I hope everyone listening has learned something new today.
We do.
And if you want to check out Fernanda Torres' performance for yourself,
Yep.
I'm Still Here is coming out in more theaters in February.
So go see it.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
All right, everyone, that's it for this deep dive, but keep those conversations going, and we'll see you next time.
See you then.